This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
The X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X-Zone Radio Show or endorsed in any manner by Rob McConnell, REL-MAR McConnell Media Company, the X-Zone Broadcast Network, its affiliated networks, stations, employees, or advertisers.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the X-Zone. I am Rob McConnell, and we're coming to you from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. If you'd like to send me an email, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. Check us out on all the social media sites, X-Zone Radio TV. Our radio website, guess what it is? Yes, you've got it, www.xzoneradiotv.com. And, of course, if you'd like to find out all about the programming that we have 24/7, 365 on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net. Douglas DeLong is our guest this hour. Douglas is a medical intuitive, spiritual teacher, counselor, and past life therapist. He has written 3 books, distributed internationally, on the subjects of ancient healing, spirituality, reincarnation, and psychic development. Ancient Teachings for Beginners and Ancient Healing Techniques were published by Llewellyn Worldwide. His 3rd book, Past Lives for Beginners, was released in June of 2013. He and his wife, Carol DeLong, operate the DeLong Ancient Mystery School, where they teach courses in spiritual and psychic development, ancient healing techniques, past life therapy training, and Reiki. They also deliver a menu of personal services and travel throughout North America and Hawaii teaching these courses. The DeLong Mystery School has received students from all over the world. Ancient Teachings for the Beginning, DeLong's first book, has gone to its 11th printing now and is now considered a classic in its retrospective genres, such as reincarnation, auras, and chakras. Doug has also written for Fate Magazine, the Llewellyn Journal, Whole Life Journal, and many other publications. Douglas has regressed more than 1,500 people over the past 25 years. For more information, here's a couple of websites. No, there's only one website. www.douglasdelong.com. And Douglas, welcome back to the X-Zone, all the way from out west in the prairie provinces of Canada.
Well, thanks for having me back on, Rob.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to you about your books this hour. Let's take them one at a time. Ancient Teachings for Beginners. What was that book all about, Doug?
Well, that was based on a lot of things I've been teaching. I was teaching all these courses. People asked me to put a book together. Mm-hmm. And I sat down, I put all this information together, plus all the studies I had through the Rosicrucians in California.
Right.
And I sent the manuscript, a part of it, off to Llewellyn Worldwide. And they asked for the whole thing, and I sent it to them. They then wanted to publish it, and it came out in 2000. It's doing really, really well. And it's out in several languages. It's out in French and Portuguese, and it's doing quite well.
And your second book is Ancient Healing Techniques. How ancient is ancient?
Well, sometimes, I talk about the Tibetan healing techniques, and they go into the Egyptian mystery schools based on 3,000 or 4,000 years ago. And I talk about the aura, chakras, and I get into a couple of chapters on basic soul travel and one on advanced soul travel, and using soul travel techniques to send healing energy out to someone. So that's has a fair bit of detail. And I cover the colors that come down around someone from the crown, from the God source above. And ancient healing techniques is sort of like a sequel or follow-up to ancient teachings for beginners. So especially if someone's doing Reiki or some other type of work, they can take that book and incorporate it into their own.
And your final book is entitled Past Lives for Beginners. Does this include reincarnation?
Oh yeah, definitely. It goes into what reincarnation is, and I answer a lot of questions. I got a question and answer section in there. For instance, were you famous in a past life, or how many past lives did you have, and what happens when you die? And I go into great detail about it. And I also had a lot of case studies. I took a lot of my clients and put some of their stories in there, how especially some of them that were very sick, ready to pass over.
Yes.
And got some amazing information. I had a lot of clients that had guides or angels around them working with them all the time.
Let's talk about reincarnation when we come back from this commercial break. How's that?
Sounds great.
All right, X-Zone Nation, Douglas DeLong is our special guest of this hour. www.douglasdelong.com. That's www.douglasdelong.com. And we'll both be back on the other side of this break as we continue here in the X-Zone, investigating the world of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology and all aspects in between here in the X-Zone with yours truly, Rob McConnell. Year number 26 of this show, coming to you from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember, 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
I am Dr. Carl O'Helvey, founder, president of a new cancer foundation focusing on evidence-based physical, mental, and spiritual interventions, including natural cancer cures, prayer, meditation, affirmations, nutrition, and other related holistic cancer prevention and cure modalities. These are used in cancer education, research, and financing care. I ask for your help to continue this important work by donating at www.holisticcancerfoundation.com.
Hello, I'm Pete Marsh. With my daughter Justina, we will be presenting the new radio show, Too Good to Be True. If something seems too good to be true, it usually is. But with the help of Justina's amazing gifts, we're going to gain insight into questions that don't yet have complete answers. Have you wondered who built Stonehenge and for what reason? Why are crop circles found in the same region as Stonehenge and elsewhere? Are crop circles a hoax, or are they created with technologies that we have little knowledge of? Who built the pyramids in Egypt and also in other countries? How and why were they built? Was the Titanic switched with the Britannic as part of a gigantic insurance fraud, or for more insidious reasons? What caused the Tunguska event when trees were flattened over an 800 square mile area in Siberia? Will the new insights be too good to be true? Well, that will depend on what you are prepared to believe. Please join us as we start on this journey together. For more information on Too Good to Be True, visit www.xzbn.net.
Little children aren't the only ones afraid of the dark. Millions of soldiers return from war zones with PTSD, anger, frustration, fear, and loneliness, much of which surfaces during the darkness of the night. You have the chance to change the lives of these American heroes. Songs and Stories for Soldiers.us provides free MP3 players for these men and women. With a list of 3 million songs in 16 different styles, 100,000 audiobooks, and 30,000 old-time radio programs, every veteran can find something to soothe and comfort them at no cost. All our players contain an 8-hour audio program designed to help veterans fall asleep. With 1,500 plus vets now participating, it's our goal to deliver 10,000 audio players this year. Go to our website at songsandstoriesforsoldiers.us. Help us help a veteran make it through the night.
Exonation, have you ever wondered if you've been here before? Do you believe in past lives? Reincarnation? Have you ever gone through regression hypnosis? Well, if you have questions, hopefully we'll be able to answer them this hour with our guest, Douglas DeLong. His website is www.douglasdelong.com. So let's talk first about reincarnation. For those who may be listening for the first time, Douglas, how would you describe reincarnation?
Reincarnation is when you're reborn into a human body, you're a small baby, and you live and you experience life, and then you die and you pass over, and then you come back again. So it's like being born, you live, you die, and you repeat the process. And you keep repeating the process until you get it right, till your soul acquires more knowledge and information.
How do we know how many times we've been around? Like, how many times do we come around? Or does that all depend on how swift we get the message?
Well, I think it's how swift we get the message. But I had that in my book, Past Lives for Beginners. That's one of the questions that I have out there. Mm-hmm. And everybody's different. If you went saw a psychic and the psychic says, yeah, hey, Rob, you've had 16 past lives, she or he doesn't really know for sure. Everybody's different. Some people may have had 50 past lives. Some could have had 5 or 6, and it's just, it depends. But by exploring your past lives, you can oftentimes discover who you were in previous times. So it's quite interesting. And you have to remember that we're eternal souls, and our souls keep coming back in the physical bodies. They're like a temple that we reside in until we leave.
But if someone is a Christian, Doug, and they believe in the Bible or other religious philosophies, where can they find that in their religious philosophy that reincarnation is real and that when we do die, we just don't go to heaven, but we actually come back?
Okay, well, a lot of people, there's a couple of places in the Bible that talk about reincarnation. They talk about Jesus being the reincarnation of someone, Matthew, whatever it is, in the book of Matthew. And they took a lot of quotes or references to reincarnation out of the Bible books back in 325 A.D. at the Council of Nicaea. And that's because they didn't want people having control. Whereas the Christian church back then, they wanted to be in control, and if you were bad, you went to hell, so you had to be good, and you only had one lifetime. So that's how they controlled people. And as I said, they kept all the references to reincarnation out. But there are a lot of people that are Christians that will come for a regression because they know they've lived over and over, and some people will get amazing information when they get regressed.
How does regression work? Take us through the procedure.
Well, what I do is completely different than what anybody else ever does. You can have a hypnotist or hypnotherapist guide you through hypnotism, and one of every 3 people responds to it. But what I do is I do a chakra flow meditation. I get the energy flowing up and down through a person's body, from the crown, top of the head, and the energy flows through, and people can feel it, and they start to relax, and it actually starts to affect the brain, and their brainwave patterns get less, and they release endorphins. They start to feel much, much better and have much greater success that way. I get about 80% of the people I work with will get some past life information. Some people will see it, some people will hear it or feel it, and some people smell it. But I work at getting them to what they need to do to receive the information.
Why is it that when people, the people that I've talked to, when they talk about past life regression, they've always been someone famous, Cleopatra, Jesus, and Joan of Arc. Why do people claim to be all these different great people? Is it because they really were, or is it because they'd like to be?
I think it's the second part. They'd like to be. I've worked with probably up to now 2,000 people. Back then, on my bio, it says 1,500, but, excuse me.
Yeah.
Still getting over a cold. But basically, I think all the people I've worked with, there's only 2 people that I worked with that were famous. One person had actually been Pontius Pilate in a previous lifetime, so I took him back to that time when Jesus was there. And another person had been the Tsar of Russia, and he talked about his lifetime then. But that's 2 people out of about 1,500 to 2,000 that actually remembering being a famous person. So most people I work with are just normal soldiers or sailors or fishermen, and they just have a regular life.
So when somebody claims to be, let's say, the Tsar of Russia, do they speak Russian?
Not necessarily, but I have had some people, when they get very, very deep, start speaking in different languages. And I've even had people speak with accents. So it's quite interesting. I know when I get relaxed, and sometimes when I fall asleep, I start seeing myself at the time of Jesus, and I guess when I'm speaking, my wife hears me speaking an ancient language, and I'm pretty sure it's Aramaic. So I think sometimes your soul has a lot of that contained within you, and you can bring some of it forward.
But how much of a past life is really the person's desire, and how do you differentiate between the desire of the person based on what they've seen and read and heard compared to the actuality of being that other person?
Well, what happens with the real past life, the person has vivid memories, feelings, emotions, or something happening. Maybe they've had an injury in this lifetime, and as they go back into the past life, they relive the injury that they had, and when they come out of it, they remember the injury, and suddenly the pain's gone in their body. So that tells you how very, very real it is. Or I've even had people, one fellow, he never wore hats, but he laid down on the couch, and he went back to the time of Old West, and he's talking to having the big cowboy hat on, like Haas Cartwright in the Ponderosa or Bonanza. And he's trying to hide from the Indians, and he just keeps saying about having a stupid hat. And finally he gets up, jumps on his horse, and leaves, and he looks over his shoulder, and there's an Indian standing up behind a rock and nails him with an arrow in his back. He remembers the arrow in his back and falling off the horse into the dust. And the last thing he says is, "Stupid hat." Now, when he comes out of the regression, he says, "Well, that's why I don't like hats. I won't wear them." But all the men that work with him wore hats.
Right.
So that's one of the traits or characteristics that the man had.
Who has more past life regression sessions, men or women?
I think probably 2 to 1. I get more women come to see me for spiritual reasons and also for regressions. But I find most women will go under easier than men. And children are just great. They just seem to have a natural flow. They can see or sense angels around them, and they can just zip in very, very quickly.
But isn't it true that a person who wants to be hypnotized is a lot easier than a person who doesn't believe in hypnotism?
Probably, but because the way I do it, the person isn't being hypnotized. They're being guided through a meditation, and they're getting that energy to flow through, so they're by, they can actually get some information.
Okay.
I've had people tell me I can't be hypnotized, but when they come to see me and they do what's called that shock with flow meditation, the ones that I have in my book, I go into detail about, they end up getting all sorts of information and actually getting what they need to get.
So how long does it take you to put a person under?
Probably about 10 to 15 minutes. Some people will almost, as soon as you look at them,
Wow.
they're under. It's one of those people who make me jealous. And then the others take 10 to 15 minutes, and they slowly feel this energy flowing up and down through their bodies.
Right.
And because I can see the aura and the energy, I see these lights and colors moving up and down. And suddenly I'll look and I'll see a face of like an angel or someone looking back at me. And I know that the person's deep and that their angels and guides are working with them. And then from there I'll guide them to go to a healing garden with water and feeling the water flowing around them. And then I'll guide them up through, I guess you want to call it clouds, to the heavenly fields, and get their guides and angels to take them to special places. Some people may not get a past life. They may just get energy flowing up and down through the body for healing, or they may guides and angels coming to them and counseling them or comforting them and talking to them. Or some people will just go to the Akashic records, which is really cool. It's like they go into this huge library and they access their own soul records, get all the information from previous lifetimes. And that's great when I can do that with a person to train them to soul travel. They can go into the Akashic records, flip through the book, and see many, many past lives instead of just one.
When they go to the Akashic records, once again, how can you validate what they're saying? Once again, how do you know if it's through their own will and desire and not actually being in the Akashic records? Is there any way that this can be validated?
Well, when a person goes there, a lot of them feel it is very, very real. They can smell the old musty books. They can feel the sunshine shining through the glass, and they can feel themselves opening up the books and seeing angels and experiencing everything. Yeah. And oftentimes their soul will get the information that they need, and when they come back, it makes perfect sense to them. It explains why they have a fear of spiders, or they have a fear of heights, or a fear of drowning. And it just explains everything to them and helps them start the healing process. A lot of them will get a lot of spiritual information, allowing them to develop more of their spiritual gifts.
So how do you know if it's not a dream? Like, people who dream, all their senses work, their sense of taste, their sense of smell, their sense of touch. They feel pain, they feel anger, they feel joy, they feel the warmth of the sun. How do you know? Like, you know when you do it, but how do you know when they do it? Or is it possible? Is it even possible there could be a bit of the placebo effect here, which in itself is good? Yeah,
that part's good. But a lot of people, they can feel it. It's like it's very real. They're right there. They're experiencing it. And it's like having a very vivid dream that becomes reality to them. I've had some people, they look like they're standing back watching the scene unfolding, and then some other people whom I'm jealous of that'll actually step in there and actually relive the whole scenes and the emotions, smell stuff, and just have it flow through.
So is there a difference between this meditative method that you use, Doug, and what's the word I'm looking for here? Soul traveling.
Basically, it's part of soul travel. When a person comes to me for a regression, I end up training that individual to do soul travel work. So it's all part of the package. And I find a lot of people, if they can soul travel, they can get more information, talk to guides and angels, and just see and experience it much more.
So would we say that soul travel is another part of astral traveling?
Oh, very much so. Soul travel and astral travel are the same thing. I mentioned soul travel in an article once years ago, and Llewellyn put it online, and I think it was Eckankar, the Science of Soul Travel. They complained about it, so the editor had to take the word soul out and put astral in there in place, because they claimed that it was their intellectual property.
How the hell can you claim intellectual property on something like that?
Well, they tried, and I was
for goodness sake.
They
were just jealous, buddy. That's all there was to it.
Well, that's what I think.
Yeah.
But I've got soul travel in my second book. I go in detail. I use the word
Wow.
soul travel and cover a lot of exercises.
Hey, Doug, stand by, old friend. You and I have to take our break for the news at the bottom of the hour. X-Zone Nation, Douglas DeLong, a good friend of the X-Zone, is with us again tonight. His website is www.douglasdelong.com, and we'll both be back on the other side of this break with the news as we continue here in the X-Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away now.
Dreams are our personal gateways into infinite wisdom. Don't miss shamanic counselor and indigenously trained dream decoder Sandra Corcoran's inspiring book, Shamanic Awakening Between the Dark and the Daylight. This remarkable work chronicles Sandra's 35 years of experience with diverse wisdom keepers and her initiations throughout the Americas and across the British Isles, Turkey, Greece, and Egypt. Sandy's knowledge of symbology, psychology, and myth influence her dream blog and workshops. Sandy offers private tarot readings, international journeys, a meditative CD, as well as her book, Shamanic Awakening, to encourage you as you navigate this earth walk, creating a deeper connection to yourself and all that is. Find this and more at Sandy's website, starwalkervisions.com.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
How would you like to be able to read other people's minds? Well, the next best thing is here. When you know how to read a person's name, you know how the person thinks, feels, and behaves. Each letter in our name holds a key to unlock our true essence. Our name contains both our gifts and challenges in this lifetime. Mnemology science discovers personality secrets hidden in the placement of the letters of our names, including the first and last impression people remember about us. Sharon shows us how to interpret the arrangement of letters as outlined in her book, Know the Name, Know the Person. Sharon Lynn Wyeth created mnemology science after 18 years of research and testing her theories, and has supported thousands of people around the world in understanding themselves and others better. You'll enjoy Sharon's unique teachings as she shares her system to learn the gifts behind your given birth name. Even if you don't like your birth name, there are jewels in this book. If you're thinking of changing your name, ready to name your child, or wanting to get along better with others, this is the book for you. If you'd like to improve your relationships and change your life for the better, get the book today, Know the Name, Know the Person, or visit www.knowthename.com. That's www.knowthename.com.
Hello, I'm Justina Marsh, and with my dad Pete, we are going to present a new show called Too Good to Be True. Together, we are aiming to discover more truths about this world and beyond. Do you have unanswered questions about the world? Do you ever wonder about aliens, conspiracy theories, or the universe? There are many shows discussing subjects such as pyramids or UFOs, but we want to relay this information based on our own research, including from spiritual means. Hopefully, listeners will be helped with their own beliefs and will appreciate the psychic insights that add to the previous research and information. We both look forward to sharing this insight and beginning this journey with our listeners. Visit xzbn.net for more information about when to listen.
Welcome back, everyone. Just a little bit of business here for the X-Zone Broadcast Network. 2 new shows starting this month on the X-Zone Broadcast Network. The first one is with Justina Marsh and her dad, Peter Marsh. The name of their new show is Too Good to Be True. And we're proud to say that we are now producing a show that is originating from Germany, being produced here in our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, and then distributed around the world on the X-Zone Broadcast Network. And that is a show entitled The Tell Us Radio Show with Krista Nels. And once again, both these shows starting this month here in the X-Zone. For more information about all our new programming, www.xzbn.net. We were talking before, Douglas, a little bit about ancient healing techniques. Can you tell us more about that? Because I find it amazing that here we are in the year 2017, and you and other practitioners are finding these ancient techniques, applying them to today's people, and they're working. Tell us more about that.
Okay, well, I can see auras around people, the colors and lights, and I work with the chakras, or the energy centers, and I talked about doing a chakra flow meditation, and I get the energy flowing up and down through the person's body. It helps them to release endorphins, opens up their psychic, spiritual gifts, and sometimes if they have pain in the body, it'll send healing in where they need it. And in a lot of cases, when I work with a person, if they've got a cancer, as I'm looking at them, I can see the colors of the aura and the chakras, and then I'll see a dirty color, say over a woman's breast that has breast cancer. I'll see a dirty yellowish, gray-green. And then as I watch and ask for energy to flow through, I'll see this beautiful color coming through the top of her head, down across her face, and I'll see these beautiful light blues and greens and whites and yellows, and go into the chest area where the cancer is within the cells. And I've seen that I don't know how many times. Mm-hmm. And then afterwards, they said they can feel tingling sensations. And I've had people literally be able to heal themselves from the first stages of cancer by doing that.
Right.
And getting the flow going through the body. And it's just amazing to see these colors dancing around the person. And a lot of them will have Mary Magdalene come down and work with them, too.
Wow. That is truly amazing.
Cool.
That is truly amazing. So what other ancient healing techniques are you using?
Well, I do a chant. It's M-A-Y, May,
mm-hmm.
and I usually just direct a chant at a person or a group of people. I've done it on TV shows and radio and everything
right.
through the years, and they feel a vibration works through their head, and it affects the pineal and pituitary glands,
right.
and they open up the crown and third eye chakras, and then they get endorphins being released into the bloodstream.
Mm-hmm.
And it can give a person a natural high, make them feel much, much better. And I've used that technique for years. It's really cool. If you're suffering depression, if you do the May chant properly,
yeah.
it'll release these endorphins, give you a natural high. So some people have come to see me. They've got some meds they're taking because they're depressed or whatever,
mm-hmm.
and they've been able to actually get off the medication just by doing the chant, the May chant,
yeah.
2 or 3 times, and then doing energy work with the chakras.
What are some of the effects that you've seen from using the ancient techniques? What kind of people have you been able to help with their illnesses, their disabilities?
Well, a lot of people have had cancer first stages, or some people have back injuries,
mm-hmm.
or they have fears or phobias. I've been able to help them through. In some cases, a person was blocked because they needed to see something, or they had a problem in this lifetime,
mm-hmm.
and they're able to go back in time to experience something with a person then, and come back in this lifetime and realize they don't need to repeat that cycle with that individual. So I've had for relationships, a lot of people be able to break that. A lot of people have fears and phobias, finding out where their fears or phobias come from and being able to release that. So there's many, many things. When I can get a person that has a lot of pain in their body, they go see doctors, and the doctors can't find what's wrong, but they're just giving them painkillers.
Right.
And all of a sudden, they go into the past life, and they see themselves being attacked, and they got a knife going into their back or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they remember it. They feel the emotions and the physical pain, and then they come out of it, and they're able to heal themselves. I've seen many, many people do that through the years. It's really cool to watch it. Even a couple of people had problems trying to get pregnant, a couple of ladies.
Yeah, yeah.
And, yeah, one lady, she kept going to about through the first term, couldn't go to full pregnancy. She kept losing the baby. So she went back in past life, and she ended up in the Roman city, and there was an earthquake, and she was pregnant at the time. She had black hair, and she's trying to get out of the town, and the wall shook. A stone wall came down and crushed her, and that's how she died, her and her baby. And she remembered that, and when she came out of it, she was then able to get pregnant and go to full term. So it's quite amazing when that happens.
Exonation, Douglas DeLong is our special guest. He is the gentleman behind a very interesting website, douglasdelong.com. And how hard is it for somebody to do astral traveling?
Actually, for some people, it's really, really easy. I have individuals that can practice and just slip out of their bodies.
Right.
And excuse me.
Yeah. Hey, don't.
Sorry about that, Rob.
Maybe you should try some of the ancient healing techniques on yourself there, bud.
Yeah, I'm working on it. But basically, I've had some people that can do it naturally. They just get in a relaxed state.
Yeah.
And the energy flows up and down through their body, the chakras. And I've watched them shimmer, and actually their souls start to slip out through the top of their heads.
Right.
And they'll start going to amazing places. They'll go into the heavenly fields. They'll see angels and spirit guides, or they'll talk to loved ones that have passed over. Or they'll go to teaching schools or healing temples and just get incredible amounts of information.
Wow.
So I have a lot of people that do that. As I said, my second book, Ancient Healing Techniques, has a basic and an advanced soul travel teaching in it. And I talk about you have to watch what you're eating, what you're drinking, and doing certain type of deep breathing techniques will help you change your vibrations, so allowing your soul to slip out of your physical form. Because your soul is positive, and your body is more negative. And positive and negative and electronics or magnetism keep each other together. But if you can make this body more positive, you'll then work and push the soul out. So by doing deep breathing, holding the breath, and then also taking water and doing what I call magnetizing it. I've got that in my books, where you take your hands around the water, you warm it up, and you magnetize the water. You can then drink it down quickly, and it changes the vibration inside your body too. So those two techniques are very important to help you as soul travel. And then you focus on where you want to go. And just before you're falling asleep, you say, I want to travel to this place, or I want to do that, and just let yourself drift off.
Wow. And how long does it take for a person to learn how to do all this?
Probably a couple of weeks to a month if they practice, and they pick a particular time each night. They can actually train themselves to be able to start soul traveling, astral traveling. I've gone to some amazing places. So.
Have you ever done any astral traveling to heaven?
Oh, yeah, all the time. I've gone up there after my mother passed away. And one time I went up there, she's wondering how I got there. She says, you're not supposed to be here. I says, well, I came to visit you. And she was in this hospital with angels and healers around her. And she had died from cancer. And I just talked to her for a few minutes up there. They had these curtains, and it looked like one of those Roman Greek-style settings. It's really cool. So I did that with her. And I've gone up there a few times. I'll talk to some guides or angels up there. Sometimes they'll give me information. Some of them will even take me into a teaching temple and give me a lesson on something. So it's really cool.
Very interesting. Truly interesting. So what is heaven like? When you astral travel to heaven, what do you see? How do you feel? What do you smell?
It's like going to a beautiful garden here, or sitting by the ocean, seeing the beautiful Mediterranean, or the ocean, or trees and forests and gardens, and it's very beautiful, but it's like 10 times the amount of beauty that we have here. So if you go into a beautiful place here, like say Hawaii, on a beach, and you see the palm trees, and it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And when you go there, it's similar, but it's even more so. So it's more pronounced, almost like everything's enhanced or amplified.
So let me ask you this. What happens if you don't believe in heaven? Where do you go? Where would somebody who's a Buddhist go? Where would somebody who does some other religious philosophy, where do they go? What happens?
They still go to a higher level. There's heaven, if you want to think of it as higher vibrations of energy. There's different levels, and you go up to different levels or areas. Whether you're Buddhist or whatever, you can still go up to these heavenly fields. For lack of the word heaven, if you use heavenly fields instead, it just gives you a better understanding.
What about
if you're an atheist,
yeah.
You're probably in for a rude awakening. You're still going to go up there whether you want to or not. I've had a few atheists and a few agnostics come for sessions with me.
Yeah.
And one of them, he went up there and he saw all sorts of neat stuff. So I don't think he was agnostic after he finished, but it was quite interesting.
What about auras? Tell us about auras. How do they work?
Well, auras are it's electromagnetic energy of your body. It gives off these certain colors. And if your parts of your brain work in such a way, you can see these higher vibrations, the colors or energy. Much the same as a dog can hear a certain sound, but we can't. We can do the same thing with our brains. We can raise our vibrations, work in certain areas of the brain that will be able to be used to see the human aura. And it's like when you look at a candle and you see the light flickering around it. It's the same thing with the human aura. You can train yourself to start seeing that. And if it's light, pretty, beautiful colors, then that's a positive color or colors around the individual. If they're dirty or dingy, that means there's something negative going on. So you can even see when someone's sick or someone's angry when you look at the person. Or if someone's got a cancer, as I said, I'll look down, I'll see the heart chakra, beautiful kind of a greenish-blue swirl of energy around the chest. And then I may see the cancer like a dirty yellow or gray off to the side. So it comes in and, I guess, infiltrates the area.
So when people say you're looking blue today, or you're green with envy, red with anger, are they reading the person's aura without knowing it?
Sometimes. Some people do it and they don't even realize that they're doing it. A lot of people, when you have this kind of it's an ugly red anger, it'll be all the way around the head, sometimes in the chest. I'll see a lot of it in the person's chest and around the head area.
Yeah.
And that'll indicate that the person is angry to me. Sometimes if someone's blue, it would be not a particular blue color. It might be kind of a gray, a dingy, dirty color surrounding the crown area of the individual. And for green with envy, I don't know. That just the colors may be kind of dirtier on the edges of the aura. Just don't look clean.
Wow, fascinating, truly fascinating. Douglas, you and I have to take our final break. Please stand by. Exonation, if you'd like more information about the topics we've been talking about tonight, soul travel, astral travel, reincarnation, the aura, and much more, you can visit Doug's website at www.douglasdelong.com. That's www.douglasdelong. And there's a contact email address on his website, and you can send Douglas, a question or two, and you never know. Maybe the answer you're seeking can be found in the Mystery School. We'll be back on the other side of this break as we wrap up this hour here in the X-Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away.
Hi everyone, Rob McConnell here, and I wanted to spend a moment on internet streaming. Everybody has heard about internet streaming, but not many know much about it. Did you know the internet streams just about everything?
Movies.
From new releases to old classics.
TV shows.
Almost every show, every episode, and much more. But the question has always been, how do you do it? Well now, thanks to the folks at 123 Ready TV, I have the answer for you. They have developed a simple program app, 123 Ready TV, that you install on your Windows PC, Android smartphone, or Android tablet that can have you streaming like a pro in less than 5 minutes. You truly won't believe how much is available or how easy it is to do until you try. And for a one-time cost of only $19.99, this product is a real winner. To learn more about 123 Ready TV, visit our website at www.xzbn.net.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember, 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
True healing must address 4 levels: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, for us to live joyful and productive lives. We tend to treat 3 of the 4, leaving the spiritual languishing. If you're tired of the same dysfunctional patterns cropping up in your life, Soul Balancing is for you. Trixie Phelps, owner and founder of Soul Balancing, is a naturally gifted energy healer trained in numerous esoteric forms, including shamanism. Trixie has created a powerful modality that safely and effectively clears your energetic field. A Soul Balancing session can remove interference, heal trauma, and restore your hope. Contact Trixie for a life-changing long-distance session today, www.soulbalancing.world. There's a legend shared by many indigenous cultures of a time when the nations were cast to the 4 corners of the world. Each nation was given a body of sacred knowledge that held a different portion of the truth to preserve. True reality could not be known until all the nations reunited, combining the information. If a single one was missing, the world could not be reborn and darkness would prevail. The Science of Magic Radio is dedicated to reuniting the sacred knowledge. With the understanding, none of us has all the answers, but together we can open new perceptions and possibilities. Through our combined vision, the world can be reborn into a place where darkness no longer prevails. Join me, Gwilda Wiyaka, and the Science of Magic daily on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, xzbn.net, or visit us at thescienceofmagic.net.
Douglas DeLong is our special guest this hour, www.douglasdelong.com, and he is in Saskatchewan, Canada, and he, along with his wife Carol, they operate an ancient mystery school. Tell us about your school.
Well, my wife and I started it over 20 years ago, and we teach healing courses. My wife works as a Reiki master, and she teaches a lot of people and does sessions.
Right.
And I've taught people healing courses, reincarnation. I even have people once in a while come to learn hypnotherapy through me. And teach people healing courses and teach them how to communicate with angels and spirit guides.
Right.
And a lot of times I'll get a person learning how to be able to see the aura and the colors around an individual and working with that. So I do a lot of that. And I do a lot of spiritual development with individuals too.
What are some of the questions you get most frequently asked when you talk to people who have we're having a bit of a problem here with your line, Douglas. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can now. What kind of questions do you get from people who find out about what you do for the first time and they consider using your services and your expertise for whatever reason?
Well, a lot of times a person's interested in a past life, but they're scared. They're afraid they're going to have a bad experience, like they're going to feel the pain and the emotions of dying in a previous lifetime. But I explain to the person how they can work through that. So that's usually one of the major fears. And usually, I guess all the fears or questions a person will have, it's about reincarnation mostly. Some people, even the soul travel, will be interesting to others, and they'll ask me a few questions about it, and about maybe meeting a relative that's passed over. I've had a lot of people come there full of grief, and they end up talking to their husband or their father or whomever it's passed over, and they feel much better after they've been able to get into that deep state and see them and experience what they need to do. Now, I do sessions over the phone and by Skype. A lot of times I can do a regression or spiritual counseling session just as well over the phone as I can with the person in front of me, so it's really cool when that happens.
So once the person has made the connection through you, are they able to reconnect at any time they want?
A lot of times, I usually have a person come for a second or a third session and kind of work at teaching them to be able to do a lot of their own work. I'll get people to astral travel or being able to start accessing their own previous lifetimes. So I'm training and teaching people to do what they should be doing, rather than having them come back 10 or 12 times over and over. Like going to see a psychic, I'm teaching them to get all their own information and empowering them to do what they can.
What's the hardest part about your job?
Being tired afterwards. When I've worked with someone, I get this energy flowing through, and sometimes I can be just totally wiped because I'll see what they're experiencing in their past lives and feel emotions, and then I have to counsel some people, and that can be quite difficult. Some people think if someone works as a counselor, it sounds like a cool job, but it isn't that cool. It can be difficult. It can be quite hard because you can feel the emotions off the others, and you have to work your way through it.
What's the best age for a person to come and seek your wisdom?
Any age from, say, 7 or 8 up to 80 or 90. Usually if it's someone in their 20s or 30s, I seem to have more luck when they first start. But someone in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, they seem to be a little more open, a little more receptive. They've been around the world, and they have more of a spiritual side to them. So somebody that's a little bit older seems to get the information easier.
Doug, what are your final thoughts for the members of the X-Zone Nation listening around the world tonight?
Well, I've always mentioned this before, that people shouldn't have a fear of death. Having a fear of suffering before you die is understandable, but you have to remember when you pass over, it's like falling asleep. Your soul slips out. You go up to the heavenly fields. You meet angels and guides, loved ones that are there, and you stay there, and you analyze your past life, and you do some healing and work up there. And then when you're ready, after you've had a rest up there, you'll pick where you're going to come back again, who your parents will be, what country, whether you're going to be a man or a woman in that particular lifetime. And then you work with your angels and the council up there to set everything up, and then you come back again, do the process all over again. But you do get a break up there. And you have to remember the soul is eternal and comes back over and over until it reaches a certain point of social or soul evolution, and you no longer have to do that.
You know, that is so interesting. That is so very interesting. So we're using old techniques, ancient techniques, to help us in a modern world.
Oh, yes, absolutely. If you use those techniques, it can make your life much easier and much better for you. If you can look at your past lives, you can realize you can change your present and make your future better. And if you can learn to do healing work, working with chakras, meditation, you can get in deep altered states. You can develop more of your psychic, spiritual gifts, being able to communicate with angels, spirit guides, being able to see auras around people, or getting the insight that you need to get answers and letting things flow for you. A lot of your creativity can come down and work through you, too.
More creativity. How does that work?
Well, when your crown opens up, you access the information, knowledge, and gifts from above. It'll come down through your crown, and it'll step down through your brain, through the pineal and pituitary glands, into your body as knowledge or wisdom or information. So it steps down like a transformer in electronics, and you get that information. And a lot of people, a lot of writers, a lot of painters, artists will do that. They'll sit in a relaxed state. All of a sudden, the energy will flow through their crown, down into their brain, and then through their hands and out their hands. I do that when I do all my writing and getting information.
Did you ever think when you started this so many years ago that so many people's lives would be changed because of the work that you and Carol do?
Not when I started, but afterwards I found out there's a lot of people, and I've worked with some very famous people that had situations, and they were able to, instead of committing suicide, they stayed here on the planet and kept doing what they're supposed to do. I won't say the names or anything, but I'm just saying I have worked with a few people like that. And when I've done that, I sit back and I look at what these people are doing now. Rather, if I hadn't been there and Carol hadn't been there, they'd have probably killed themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That'd have been it, and they wouldn't have been doing all the work helping other people. So I guess, yeah, both Carol and I have helped a lot of people through the years, and it's a blessing to be able to do that. So once in a while when I sit down, I just relax, and I think about that, and I go, oh, okay, that's cool.
Who takes care of Doug when Doug needs help? Or Doug needs...
Well, Carol does.
Oh, okay. All right.
She'll do a Reiki treatment on me sometimes, or
Mm-hmm.
also I'll fall asleep and angels will come around me and start working on me while I'm sleeping. I can wake up in the middle of the night and I can see a beautiful angel with his hands reaching down and touching my chest to send healing energy in. So that's happened many times too.
Wow. So how can people find out more about your mystery school, Doug?
Well, they can go to www.douglasdelong.com, and our phone number is there, and also our email address, and you can contact us, and you can buy my books through there. If you want to order a book, you can order it through me here, and I can send a autographed copy, or you can pick it up Barnes & Noble or wherever. And if you want to book a session with me, either in person or by phone, I'm available that way. So is Carol for Reiki or for distance healing. Carol does a lot of distance healing. She sent healing energy all over the world to people that needed it. It's really cool. They'll actually phone her and tell her that they could feel it.
What kind of illnesses works with distance healing? Does it have any limitations?
No, none whatsoever. A lot of people have cancer, or they've got mental health conditions, or back injuries, spinal problems. It will work with them. I've worked with people who have had tuberculosis too, so it's quite interesting.
Wow. Hey, listen, we're going to have to talk more because this is such an amazing topic, not reincarnation. Big these days. More and more people want to know about their past lives. And why do you think that is, Doug?
I think they're searching, trying to open up their souls, becoming more spiritual, trying to get an understanding. Because if you can look at a past life reincarnation, it gives you more of an understanding why you're here. It makes more sense to you, knowing that you're an eternal soul that comes back and has all these experiences and learning lessons.
So interesting, yet so true. Let our listeners know how they can find out more about you again and where they can buy your books.
Okay, it's www.douglasdelong.com. And you can just go onto the site, you can email or phone, and you can order my books. I've got all three of my books listed. You can actually order them through there, through PayPal. Or you can go to, as I said, Barnes & Noble, all these places on the Internet and just order my books. You even get them on e-books. So there's all sorts of ways of doing that. But www.douglasdelong.com. And again, I can work with people over the phone.
Douglas, good talking to you again, my friend. Take care of yourself. My very best to Carol, and I look forward to the next time you're back here with us in the X Zone.
Great. Thank you for having me on the show again, Rob.
You take care, my friend. Be good.
Same. Yeah, bye.
Bye-bye now. X Zone Nation, Douglas DeLong was my guest this hour. www.douglasdelong.com. He's the author of Ancient Teachings for Beginners, Ancient Healing Techniques, and Past Lives for Beginners. And Douglas and his wife also operate the DeLong Ancient Mystery School in Saskatchewan. All that information is available at www.douglasdelong.com. I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break with the news as we continue here in the X Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. My name is Rob McConnell. Whatever you do, Don't go away, because we'll be coming back with yet another fascinating guest here in the X Zone.